So the world transfer record has been broken again this summer, with Neymar joining PSG from Barcelona for €222 million, which equates to £198 million. On top of that, Neymar's 5-year contract means he'll be paid €30 million a year, after tax, which means he'll receive over £500,000 every week. As well as the Brazilian's wages, he'll receive bonuses on top, meaning the full transfer will cost PSG around £450 million. Everyone turned their noses up when Man United forked out £89 million last summer to sign Paul Pogba, but just a year later, we've seen the record more than double to just under £200 million. So that's got us thinking here at HITC Sport, what else could we spend £200 million on, rather than signing Brazilian superstar Neymar? Here are 15 things we could buy with £200 million instead of Neymar, from the ridiculous to the farcical. Since we've already mentioned him, with our £200 million, we could buy not one, but 2 Paul Pogbas, God that's a scary amount of dabbing, and still have £21.4 million to spare, which we may as well spend on another quarter of a Pogba. Imagine that, twice the amount of dabbing and twice the amount of erratic hairdos. Actually, maybe we can't afford that extra quarter Pogba, sounds a bit like a burger that. I can't imagine his hairdos are a cheap £5 job. If 2 Paul Pogbas doesn't take your fancy, you could overspend on 4 overrated English fullbacks by quadrupling the number of Kyle Walkers in your life. The defender cost Pep Guardiola £50 million from Tottenham, and having an extra 3 would mean they could have one for every competition. A Premier League Walker, a Champions League Walker, an EFL Cup Walker and an FA Cup Walker. But then poor Danilo would never get a game. If you want a bit more for your money, how does 40 Dele Alli sound? Christ, every touch would be a nutmeg. Or even better, what about 200 Jamie Vardys? The only issue there is, you'd have no money left to get the blue wickets in for the lads, so you'd have 200 angry Jamie Vardys on your back, and I can't imagine that's a pleasant experience. You saw the terror in the faces of Premier League defenders when just one was chasing them down the other season. Alternatively, you could buy 166,666,667 bottles of blue wicked, which I imagine is exactly how Leicester's title winning party went down. But if 200 Jamie Vardys doesn't sound like your cup of tea, and in fairness why would it, how about 66.6 recurring John Walters, which is 66.6 recurring too many? Or you could get 8 Kelechi nachos, or even better, head to Ian's Nachos and you could pick up 40 million portions of delicious nachos with cheese and salsa. For those of you who are struggling to find a man or a woman in your life, and of course you are, you're watching YouTube videos, and think the internet dating game is for you, but also plan on being on planet Earth for another 100 million years, you could sign up to Tinder Plus for 100 million years, paying just £1.92 a year and having a bit change left over. But then again, there's no guarantee you're going to get any dates, no matter how long you're on Tinder, especially if you've got the facial expressions of Phil Jones, who you could buy 12 of with your 200 million. A whole starting 11's worth and a substitute, what a team that would be. If you're a music fan and want to put your money to good use, rather than watching Neymar do a million step-overs away at Rennes on a cold Tuesday night, which I'm sure is the French equivalent of the Stoke on a Tuesday night cliché, how about getting Oasis back together? With the Manchester band splitting in 2009, Noel Gallagher said last year that he would come back and do one Oasis gig if someone paid him 20 million quid, so that means he could have them play 10 times. Assuming Liam and the rest of the lads were willing to do it for free, which would probably be an issue. Or if you want a cheaper and safer bet, according to the Mirror in 2014, you could book Adele to play 421 times at £475,000 a set. Or if Adele's depressing tones don't tickle your pickle and you'd rather see a middle-aged bloke jump around your living room and sing about stars whilst wearing a rainbow, you could then get Chris Martin and the lads from Coldplay in to perform 421 times instead, and perform some of their cheery little songs. The political ones here, or just anyone that watched the news following the general election a couple of months back, will know that Theresa May and the Conservative Party signed a £1 billion deal with the DUP to form a minority government to ensure that the Conservative Party could continue to run the country, with the DUP boasting 10 seats in Parliament to give the Conservatives the number of seats they needed, meaning Theresa May effectively paid £100 million per DUP MP, meaning with our 200 million we could buy ourselves 2. Not sure what we'd do with them, I can't imagine they're the most talented footballers, but I suppose one of them could go in goal and the other can sort out the half-time oranges. Neymar's move to PSG is the biggest football has ever seen, and on August 26th we will see one of the biggest fights the world has ever seen when Floyd Mayweather steps into the ring with Conor McGregor. Wow, what a seamless link that was. Fancy being there? Well, ringside tickets cost a mere £7,750, so with our Neymar money we could sit within inches of the American and the Irishman getting it on 25,806 times over. which is impossible because there aren't even that many seats in the T-Mobile Arena. Spending £200 million is hard work. I don't know how PSG have done it so easily. So those are 15 things you could spend 200 million quid on instead of Neymar. Let us know what you'd spend it on and if Neymar is worth the price in the comments below. Thanks for watching and don't forget to like, share and subscribe. And check out our newest channel, HITC 7s.